Hi, this is Marcy, the founder of Canadian Equality Consulting, and thank you for joining me today for another coffee chat. So today we're going to be talking about the myth of meritocracy, or sometimes known as we only hire the best person for the job, the most qualified person for the job. So when we talk about wanting to increase diversity or wanting to hire a more diverse workforce, we almost always hear people respond saying, I don't see gender or color or sexual orientation when I'm hiring, and I only hire the most qualified person. Now, this statement on its own is really insightful, and it shows that, first of all, this company believes two things. The first is everyone applying must be on equal footing or is getting equal access to their job ads or their competitions or their interviews. And the second thing that it's showing is that there is an embedded assumption and maybe an unconscious bias that by adding traditionally underrepresented people in your workplace, that they would not be qualified. So these two arguments are not just unconscious biases, as they're sometimes called, but they are conscious. What they show us and then what they can reveal is that they're actually conscious biases in action. So to refute the first point, the assumption that all people are able to equally access a job opportunity, to provide you with the ability to not even see race or gender or sexual orientation, etc., is false. And we know that we live in an unequal world where we're all starting at different places and at different levels. We're not on equal footing, even from the moment of birth. And that is due to our identities and can be due to our, and the way historical inequities and systems and systemic discrimination and biases have played out over time in attributing certain levels of power and value and privilege to certain races or certain languages or abilities, and the privileges or lack thereof of privileges associated with all of those different identities. So what we assume is neutral, like a job description, is not. And job descriptions can be filled with really loaded language. There is a study that has shown that a job description written with very masculinized gendered language actively discourages women from applying, and almost very little women will even apply to that job ad. There's also a study that talks about university textbooks and how university textbooks, if they have a very feminized or masculinized language sort of embedded in them, it dramatically affects the marks of that gender that are in that class. Now, the second argument is easy to refute with a question. Why do you assume traditionally underrepresented people are not qualified? And why is it an assumption that they are only there for their race or gender? You know, what makes you think that way? Is it actually evidence-based? And every single time that answer will be no, because there is no study and an irrefutable study that shows that people are deliberately chosen as tokens and they're not qualified. So overall, because we are still living in an unequal world and people are not all accessing things like jobs, job ads, or interviews equally, we need to do targeted, equitable work in this area. And that includes marketing jobs differently. That includes setting diversity goals and targets. And there are many effective strategies that can be implemented, some really creative and innovative ones that you can use in writing job ads, or that you can use in designing interview questions or evaluation matrices, things like that can help you achieve this. So please don't hesitate to reach out anytime for more information, and we're happy to have more conversations with you about these specific EDI strategies and discussing more about this myth of meritocracy. Thank you so much.